Hey, what's going on, old fans? This your guy, Kelvin Hunt. Welcome to the Built for Playmakers YouTube channel / audio version if you're listening to the podcast. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you went down to Tally this past weekend, hopefully you had a great time and made it home safely. Hopefully you don't have too many hangovers and got to see a lot of cool FSU fans. In this particular episode, we're going to talk about the spring game as well as, well, I should say Seminole Showcase, excuse me, as well as the transfer portal. Already had some news on Monday here. I'm recording this on Monday evening. FSU just had some news of one guy entering the portal, and the first of several probably. So we're going to touch on those two things in this episode. If you wouldn't mind, go ahead and like in this video. So that'll help us get out there into the algorithm on YouTube. And if you're an FSU fan, subscribe if you haven't already. I try to do things a little differently than a lot of the YouTube shows out there. And former college athlete, if you've never watched this channel before. And so I can give you a little bit of a different perspective than some of the other ones out there. So like it up, and we're going to go ahead and get into it. But yeah, so spring game, aka Seminole Showcase on Saturday. And I've seen a lot of takes out there with FSU fans thinking it's the world is ending because certain things didn't happen or certain guys didn't play in the game or whatever. And I thought it was fine. Mike Norvell treats this thing more so like a real practice than a lot of the other schools out there that want to put on a show for fans, like some teams down south. And if you go back and look at the last couple of years, the spring game, aka Seminole Showcase, hasn't been something that where guys just were running wide open down the field for touchdowns and guys throwing for 400 yards and and all that good stuff. It's a real practice. And so Mike Norvell again is ahead of the competition when it comes to maximizing the opportunities to get better as a team. But there are a lot of things that I did like about what I saw on Saturday. And I'll start at the top. A lot of people, are looking at what DJ Ube did at quarterback. And look, I wrote about it on Chop Chat. And, I've been really, really positive about what I think DJ is going to be in this offense. And I think you saw a lot of that on Saturday. You're talking about a guy that's only been here, for a couple months. And he already seems to have a pretty good grasp of what they're trying to do offensively. And I'm sure things were pretty vanilla for the most part on Saturday. But, he was getting through his reads and, threw a lot of great balls. And, of course, the receivers didn't do him any favors with several drops. He had a couple throws he probably would want back. But usually you see that in every spring game, so to speak. So, obviously the arm talent is there. I mean, guy's got a cannon. He just flicks it out there. And it just goes on the field so effortlessly. But one thing I like that I was not questioning, but I wanted to see was obviously we know he can throw it, 70 yards down the field, but I was wondering if he would hit his checkdowns. Excuse me. And he did. I was wondering if he would be able to have some touch on the passes that are intermediate kind of and whatnot. And he was able to do that. In the past, he has thrown laser beams like every throw. And, that's something that DeAndre Francois struggled with sometimes. Guys with a strong arm, sometimes they just don't have that touch to take a little bit off. But we saw that progression from DJ on Saturday, I thought. And, I think FSU is going to be fine. I'm going to be writing something pretty soon on Chop Chat about my expectations numbers-wise that, I expect DJ to put up this year. And a lot of people don't realize it, but DJ led Oregon State to the number 11 offense, according to FEI Advanced Metrics last year, the number 11 offense nationally. So I know people want to look at the completion percentage and, and all that good stuff. But look, when it comes down to leading an offense, they averaged 6.45 yards per play last year, put up over 30 points a game. And that's with lesser talent than what he's going to have at FSU. So, look, offense is going to be fine. I thought the running game looked pretty good. You got to see Roydell Williams. I posted on X, I think it was yesterday or earlier Monday, My guy Clay from 247 posted a clip of Roydell getting kind of skinny in traffic and just kind of coming through there, virtually untouched and scoring a touchdown. That's what you're missing. That's what you were missing last year. Trey Benson loved him, excuse me, but he struggled to hit those little creases at times. He definitely could break off a long 70-yarder at times, but for every one of those, you probably had 7 or 8 runs that didn't maximize the yardage that they could have gotten because he didn't have the vision that somebody like Roydell has. So you got to see why some people compare Roydell to Trayshawn Ward. A little bit bigger than Trayshawn and probably a bit more top end speed than Trayshawn. So that was good to see because Holmes ran really hard aside from the fumble. I know he had one. I'm not sure if he had the other one or not, but ran really hard, trucked Shaheem to punch that touchdown in from about 15, 20 yards out. So that was good to see. It was sad I didn't get to see Cam Davis run. Sam Singleton showed some speed around the edge a couple of times. And you got to see Jalen Lucas a couple of times. So running game is going to be fine. You've heard me say it several times. I'm not worried about the running game. Mike Novell is going to manufacture a running game. You got to see DJU keep the ball on a read, which is something we didn't see much last year from Jordan Travis. So that was good to see. So yeah, I think we're going to be fine. Wide receiver wise, Malik Benson was really the only guy that kind of stood out. A lot of veteran guys, didn't really do it for me. So we'll see if any of those guys hit the portal. I think we need help from the portal. I wrote about that at wide receiver. I wrote about that on Chop Chat, on Monday. So tight end wise, we saw Jackson West catch a couple balls. We saw Brian Courtney catch a ball. So some progress. Probably Landon Thomas. He did it some things. You might need some help there at tight end. I thought the offensive line, aside from a couple guys, did okay. I think run blocking they're going to be good. Might have to do something with Byers out there at tackle. We'll see. Defensively, I thought the pass rush was there, and I think the D-line is going to be a problem for most teams. I think they're going to pick up kind of where they left off last year. Saw Marvin Jones Jr. do a lot of good things. Saw Byron Turner flash. Saw Patrick Payton flash. And, I like what I saw from the D-line. Linebackers, we saw a couple guys flash, but it was hard. It was hard to really tell with the way the broadcast was and everything. Just kind of, it's really hard to grade the linebackers on everything. I still think we probably need help. I don't think Sean Murphy, the transfer from Alabama, is really kind of. I don't think he's locked down a starting spot at all. So when I saw he got banged up out there, I'm not sure if he returned or not, but you probably need another guy, a linebacker, to go with DJ Lundy, who looked fine. But then when we're talking about the secondary, secondaries along with the defensive line is going to be the strength of the team. I think those guys were kind of grabby and probably got away with some things that you normally wouldn't get away with in games, and they probably knew some of the concepts and routes that the receivers would run. But overall, I mean, it was a lot of tight windows out there, a lot of pass breakups, and just like last year when FSU led the nation in pass breakups, I think this year is going to be more of the same, especially if they have the pass rush that shouldn't see too much of a drop off compared to last year. I think the biggest thing that we need to see from FSU's D-line is how they stack up against the run. I did see Lola Hale set the edge really well one time against, I think it was one run where Jalen Lucas was trying to get outside. So that's kind of what he's known for. But I did see some of the defensive ends give up the edge a bit more than what I would like to see. So that's something that, we'll need to see improve between now and fall camp. But, that is just a quick snapshot of the spring game. Like I said, I wouldn't put too much stock into, just the number of incompletions or You know, a lot of people get caught up in the stats, but the spring game isn't something that Mike Norvell really tries to do that with. So just treat it as a regular practice and guys trying to get better. But let's talk about the transfer portal. So FSU has already lost a couple guys. They lost Joshua Burrell. He announced weeks ago he was going to enter the portal, and he officially did not too long ago. Greedy Vance announced he was going to enter the portal recently, and he did. And he committed to USC, Southern Cal, not South Carolina, for those that were wondering. And so that's a great spot for him to show off. And they need all the help they can get on defense. So, we'll see how he does out there. But shout out to Greedy, and hopefully he does well out there. But we also saw that Vandrevius Jacobs, a 2023 former four-star signee, wide receiver, announced he was going to enter the portal. Reported that he was going to enter the portal on Monday afternoon. And so I want to talk about it a little bit. So it seems to be the consent, and it could be that people just like the kid and know he's talented and think that, he could really help FSU, wide receiver, and wide receivers in an area they need help. And that's true. But here's the thing. A lot of people get caught up in stars and rankings and all that stuff. And I've said it. If you listen to this channel before, you know what I want to say. I don't care how talented you are. I don't care how much potential you have. If you're not doing the things that you're supposed to do to get on the field, then that potential and talent means nothing. And this coaching staff has a track record of you've heard the term fast track from Mike Norvell. We saw it with Conrad Hussey last year. We've seen it with Hakeem Williams last year. Look, Destin Hill hadn't touched a football field in 2 years, and he played a lot as a freshman last year. So there's no, put it this way. Jacobs had the opportunity. I mean, he enrolled early, which is a plus for wide receivers, because usually it's pretty difficult for them to make the transition between high school and the college level and make an impact on year one. He had the opportunity. He had a good spring last year, and for whatever reason, that did not carry over until the summer and fall. And he saw the field sparingly as a freshman, even though guys were banged up and there were opportunities to get out there. So that kind of tells you a lot about where things were with him. And apparently, I don't know, I guess things just didn't get better with him in that aspect. So I've said it before and I'll say it again. Mike Norvell and the coaching staff, they do a great job of evaluating guys that they feel like they need to keep. And, and that's, looking at the potential of the guy, talent, depth, and, whether they think it's going to work out or not. And, with him hitting the portal, he probably wasn't going to contribute this year based on how things were going. And so, if that's the case, is that really a loss? It's more so a loss for him because, now he's going to have to go somewhere else and hopefully find a new home and learn a new offense and probably, find another coaching staff that may hold him accountable as well. And I don't want this to come off as, me just banging on Vandrevius. I don't know him personally at all, but I just know that the coaching staff does a good job of getting guys on the field whenever they're ready to get on the field. They're doing the things they're supposed to do to try to get on the field. And if that's not happening and the guys like ultra talented, then obviously there's some things off the field that are not taking place. So keep an eye on the transfer portal. We'll see. Like I said, I still expect. I wouldn't be shocked to see another wide receiver, if not two, enter the transfer portal. Like I said, I won't mention names just out of respect. I don't have any inside information, but just looking at the depth chart, looking at performances, I would not. They need help at wide receiver. So if you're gonna bring some help in, you're gonna have to have some guys leave, right? So it's just 1 + 1 is 2. I would not be shocked to see An offensive lineman leave. I wouldn't be shocked to see a tight end leave. I wouldn't be shocked to see a defensive back leave. I wouldn't be shocked to see a defensive end leave. FSU is still over the 85 scholarship limit, so they have to get under that limit to, before the season starts. And they're still going to add guys from the portal, so you're going to have to have more guys to leave to open up spots for guys that they're going to bring in while still, being under the 85 limit whenever the season starts. So again, just remember that, if guys enter the portal, if they actually enter the portal, the coaching staff, and the Battles In Collective, work hand in hand together. And, they will try their best to keep guys that they feel like they have to keep. You saw that after the 2022 season. And we saw it after the 2023 season when some guys were talking about entering the portal and all that. And then the guys that did enter the portal, we saw that things didn't really work out the way they thought it was going to. The coaching staff and the Battles In, they do their due diligence. So, they have a track record that you can trust. And so, don't get all up in arms about, oh my gosh, we just lost this guy. He was ranked, top such and such or whatever when he was in high school. Look, those rings don't mean anything anymore. If a guy is on the roster and they're not cracking the 2 deep, doesn't really matter. So, on the contrary, and like I said, I expect some guys to leave. But you're seeing a mass exodus at other programs, and so that kind of speaks to the culture of what Mike Norvell and the coaching staff have built over the past couple of years. Players know they're going to come here from the portal and get developed, and the high schoolers know that. So really the only guys that are probably going to hit the portal, guys that from a few recruiting classes. From a couple of years ago, whenever they were not able to get the highest caliber recruit, and they've been recruited over, or guys have been injured quite a bit and just haven't had a chance to rehab and develop properly because of the injuries. That's not a it's a shame that happens, but that's the way the cookie crumbles nowadays. So I expect, like I said, I expect probably another 8 to 10 guys to hit the portal. They'll probably add a couple from the portal, more than a couple. But it's about to get heated up there. With FSU able to contact players now, they were not able to do that this past week, not legally anyway. I saw Miami fans out there trying to dry snitch. Them boys shook down there. Man, it's crazy how much FSU stays on the minds of Miami and Florida fans. But I like where FSU is right now. I really think they have a talented team, and they're going to make a lot of noise this fall. So appreciate you guys checking in with me. I know it's been a little while since I posted on YouTube, but again, look to probably be more active on here as the portal heats up, and we'll see who we get and who leaves. And like I told you in the fall, I know I was one of the few, the vocal minority out there telling you when people were stressing about the portal, FSU wasn't landing guys, and I was like, just be patient. The coaching staff are doing their due diligence, and the guys will come. And I think FSU will get who they want to get in the portal for the most part. They have the track record to do it at several positions, especially wide receiver when you look at Johnny Wilson and Keon Coleman, and defensive tackle, defensive end. So just be patient, and things will work out. So if you wouldn't mind, if you haven't already, like this one, man, let's get those one up to, I need 100 likes, man. We're topping out at about 50 or 60. Get us to 100, and share this on social media, and subscribe if you haven't. And until the next time, go Noles.